Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by again. Look, this is going to be a quick video. I just want to talk about Brazil, what's going on there, and how Canada and our leadership under Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland are complicit in what's happening down there. So if you've been seeing the news, you've noticed that there's a big fire in the Amazon, that we're losing millions of trees and it's going to affect the environment and the climate, and the Amazon is such a natural heritage, not only to the people of Brazil, but to the people of the world, and it's really sad to see. But this is not isolated as a natural event. This isn't even strictly related to climate change. The current head of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, has a general policy of displacing indigenous people. He feels that Brazil's historic recognition of indigenous people in the Amazon and in other areas of Brazil is an impediment to progress and industrial growth and agricultural improvement, and he's made the case that those people should have no rights. So he's encouraged, in some cases, agricultural companies and farmers to effectively burn down areas of the Amazon to make it easier to liquidate the indigenous populations of the area. This is in effect a form of genocide. By destroying people and destroying homelands and destroying cultures and destroying ways of life, the Brazilian government is trying to clear parts of the Amazon to remove the people that have always been there and to put land for cattle. Not only will this have tremendous social effects on the indigenous populations of Brazil, but it'll have tremendous ecological effects worldwide as we lose one of the world's biggest carbon sinks in the Amazon. But it's more than that. Brazil's leader has cracked down on all sorts of dissidents, quote unquote, including LGBTQ people, including anyone who identifies as a leftist. He's really, I would say, a proto-fascist. He certainly has fascist sympathies that are really troubling. And the biggest issue for me here is that Canada, my country, the country of most of my viewers, is effectively legitimizing Bolsonaro and his actions and his regime every single day. Canada has formed an alliance with Brazil and other countries known as the Lima Group, and they've been using that alliance to take shots at Venezuela, for instance. But it goes beyond that. It's a general recognition that Brazil is Canada's friend. You've seen the pictures of Justin Trudeau and Bolsonaro broing down, looking at each other like they're true friends. And the problem with all of this is that Justin Trudeau has said he believes in true reconciliation with indigenous people here in Canada. But how can he say that when he sees how his friend Bolsonaro treats indigenous people in Brazil? Indigenous reconciliation is not a nation-by-nation project. It is a global project. All settler nations need to do their part in reconciliation. And you can't say you support your own indigenous people when you allow your allies to do what they're doing to indigenous people in Brazil. And this goes beyond the fact that Justin Trudeau does not support indigenous reconciliation here in Canada. Not with any practical actions, that's for damn sure. Justin Trudeau and his government, through his foreign minister Chrystia Freeland, have effectively chosen Brazil as an ally because they are co-enemies of Venezuela, and because Brazil can give some sweet, sweet, sweet business opportunities for Canada. Do you guys remember when Bolsonaro was, in the midst of his victory, and a lot of people were worried about the treatment of minorities and the treatment of indigenous people and the treatment of LGBTQ people? You guys remember that? Well, our public broadcaster, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, the CBC, wrote a piece where they said, well, all of that is interesting, but have you thought about the investment opportunities? There was a real sense that Canadians can cash in here. He's like, we can make money off the liquidation of indigenous peoples and way of life. This is great for the mining companies and the agricultural companies. Buy up some stocks in Brazil, folks. You're not going to get another opportunity like this. This was a public broadcaster. So in all these ways, Canada is really complicit with what's happening in Brazil. We are supposed to be a country that stands for human rights, and that we challenge not only nations that we're rivals with, but even our allies to do better. And we have a government that supposedly champions LGBTQ rights, and supposedly champions indigenous people and minorities, and supposedly champions the environment. But their friend in Brazil and his regime are doing nothing to help those portfolios, and in many ways everything to hurt them. And yet Justin Trudeau recognizes Bolsonaro as a friend. What does this mean? It means that Canada bears a responsibility for the ecological and human and social disasters going on in Brazil right now. And that the crimes committed by Bolsonaro, those are our crimes too. We own them. At least everybody who supports Justin Trudeau owns them. And Chrystia Freeland, they own them. This should be a key challenge above all to the narrative that Justin Trudeau gives one single damn about anything progressive. He doesn't care. He says he cares in Canada, and he has an image that is, pretty popular in the United States and in much of Western Europe. But when the chips are down, Trudeau will side with proto-fascists against indigenous people, against sovereign nations, against the environment, against LGBTQ peoples, because what matters to him above all is an international alliance of capitalist elites on the one hand and preserving Canadian investment opportunities in Brazil on the other. This government is a shame, and it needs to be said more, and every travesty that happens in Brazil until we start denouncing Brazil is partially on our hands.